It looks really cool. What sucks is they don't judge on vascularity. You know, I just started judging in Texas this past year, and I like seeing freak. Like you go to like a bodybuilding show. I mean, they have men's physique now, so you can see like pretty physiques. On the bodybuilding, I still like the small waist, wide shoulders, but you want to see like a freak, like something shredded, veiny, and too bad they don't, you know, count for vascularity. Because I think it looks pretty cool. Maybe that's just because I have it. But. And I pulled it from the wall. He tore the pretty penny. So pick it up. And let's go. He'll be my cowboy, my cowboy. So we're gonna do some shoulders and arms today. I kind of group those together because shoulders and arms are my strong points, so I don't need to like focus like just one day on shoulders or one day on arms. They grow pretty easy, so I group them together. Do a fairly fast workout, and then spend more time on my weaker body parts like my back. Very first gym I started working out at, Gold's in Arlington, which Greg, the owner, my good friend of this gym destination, that's where we all started working out together. And when they went out of business, he bought all their equipment. This is one of my favorite machines. I started working out when I was 16. I was a little skinny soccer player. I weighed 120 pounds when I was 16. And then by 18, I was 240 pounds. And that's just from quitting running. I used to run, long distance run, and I started eating. I ate everything. I ate 8 meals a day. They weren't clean. My dad owned a Tex-Mex restaurant, even though we're not Mexican. And I would eat up there. My dad would complain. He's like, Armon, you come up here and work, because I manage the place. And he's like, all you do is eat up here. Dad, well, I'm trying to get big. He's like, it's not good for your body, Armon. You're eating like every 2 hours, but I would eat like enchiladas, rice and beans, burritos. And, that's how I put size on. And then I started shaping up when I wanted to bodybuild. But a lot of people have to do that. All these kids, they're eating so clean, and they got all their meals prepped out, and they want to know why they're not gaining muscle. Like, you got to throw some dirty food in there. They always have been. Back is my weak point. As you can probably tell, it's never been my funnest. A lot of people don't like training back because it's hard to feel. And when I started, I had wide shoulders as soon as I started lifting weights. And then I had no back, it was just straight, so I had no like width. So, and then my traps, I mean, I think the bigger you get your traps, like my client Brian, he has naturally big traps. And so, the bigger your traps, the more narrow your shoulders look. So I do a little bit for my traps, but I don't want to look like a linebacker like this or not have a neck. I still want to have a neck. Luckily, I don't have to go too heavy on shoulders. My shoulders are genetically wide. I've had 2 shoulder surgeries. I fell on some freaking stairs. I don't have a cool story. I tore this shoulder, messed up the AC joint, tore the supraspinatus, and tore the labrum. First surgery, we went in, fixed the rotator cuff. For some reason, he didn't fix the labrum. My dad used him. He does all the Rangers. My dad used him. Kuklo used him. Greg has used him for shoulder and biceps tears. And so we had to go back in and do a second repair. And those 2 surgeries back to back, caused a lot of scar tissue. So I was out of the gym for a year straight upper body. No 10-pound curls or anything, because when that labrum is healing, you can't curl, you can't pull, you can't do anything. So I did some PRP in it twice. I'm sure a lot of y'all know what that is. They take your blood out, they spin it, they inject the platelets back into it to heal the injury. So when I train shoulders now, I go light because I still get a good pump. I remember on some shithead on the MD forums years ago, I was on there like posing, and he's like, Armon has so much synthol on his shoulders and this and this and this. And I would like talk shit back to him. I'm like, well, no, there's no synthol in there, dude. And then he's like, you'll see when he competes, there'll be no striations or anything. And so I compete and my shoulders are shredded. But if you do use synthol, you won't have shredded whatever you put it in. And then he's like, well, I guess Armon's mastered how to use synthol to where it doesn't show it. It's just some punk on there. Just luckily they grow easy. My back's my trouble area, and my quads are good in the off season, but when I diet, they shrink up a lot. So it's one of those things like in 1 week they can just boom lose an inch. So and especially making heavyweight, I look better at about 230 to 235 if I could go on stage like that. But I'm still not thick enough to compete with the supers, but I would out-condition all of them. So next year I'm probably going to take some time off and move up to supers. Because I was out 2.5 years. I mean, I didn't compete at all. I ate 3 meals a day, lived like a normal person, just prepped a lot of people, and now I'm back at it. I'm being a lot more cautious with my training. Could I go a little heavier in certain lifts? Yeah. Is it worth that risk? No, and people don't know until they tear something. And I'd rather lift, a plate on here, not even been able to lift my arm above my head, which I did that for over 1.5 years, and that was pretty depressing. But is it selfish that I love you? And what gives you the right to eat ourselves alive? But is it selfish? I was a really skinny kid, so I have to eat a lot to maintain. But when I diet, I do 50 carbs with every meal, 6-7 meals a day. I don't change that. I don't carb deplete at the end. I just load more. So if I'm eating 60 grams of carbs with every meal, I'll go to like 80 to 100 grams of carbs and then start junk feeding. But I started competing when I was 18 in high school. I'm 30 now. I've never been on stage and been completely happy with my package. I've been I can always come in shredded to the bone. My problem is staying full at the same time. Last Nationals was my best conditioning ever. I was ready to roll, I was so pumped. And they're like, okay guys, 30 more minutes. And then I started going flat because I compared my backstage pictures with on stage. And that's the thing with bodybuilding, you gotta stay calm, you can't stress because your body cortisol levels will raise and you'll start holding a little bit of water. All my prep clients, I tell them that too. Some people just stress so much, and that's out of my hands. You can look amazing and you can go on stage, and if you're stressed, it's the fun part. A lot of people don't like competing, they like the prep, the process, but getting on stage, going to battle, a lot of people have a fear in whatever it might be, losing or just getting up there. That's what I love. I love getting on stage and battling. And one thing for nationals though, I got to start practicing my posing. I've posed 3 times, and I've competed twice this year already. Like actually practice posing, and I use a coach. Sheila helps me with my posing. Because my shows, I was like, okay, please, no more quarter turns. I'm about to pass out or comparisons. So, and it's stupid because I make sure my clients always practice their posing. I'm so adamant about that. So I need to practice what I preach, and get on my posing, because the national level, if it's close, they're comparing you, and you will pass out if you're not conditioned to pose. And so that's the thing I got to focus on.